Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm Charlotte McGinnis, and as always, thank you so much for tuning in and joining me here on Sunday mornings. We've got our little virtual church going on here, and it's really a highlight of my week, and hopefully you all will get some benefit from it as well. So as always, if you're willing to share this, pass it along. I'm always grateful for that, and please engage if you're listening live. Also, I want you to know that a lot of people aren't on Facebook, so you can tell your friends that they can watch us on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/ Inspire YOUTV. So you can watch, all my videos are archived there as well. So just to let you know. Well, it's good to be back. Last week I took off. It was close to my birthday and did some fun birthday things, and don't feel another year older, just feel a little bit wiser or less wise, I don't know. But anyway, it was a great week and good to be back. I want to invite you all, a lot of you all that tune in, knew Mary Fakay, a friend, a minister. She known Mary a long time, almost the whole time we lived up here, and she passed away a few months back, and myself, along with Reverend Dr. Wanda Beebe and Reverend Brenda Nyack, will be co-facilitating a Zoom memorial for Mary next Saturday at 11 a.m. So if you're interested, it's going to be posted on my Facebook page. You can find it there, and if you don't, if you want to just reach out to me, I'll be happy to send you the email link, the Zoom link that has a Zoom link. Okie doke. I want to also just remind you all that we have our prayer ministry, the Namaste Prayer Ministry, and it's thriving and offering support to people literally all over the world. And I want to thank our prayer team for up to about 120 prayer warriors now, and thank them for their selfless support. And also know that if you want to be a prayer warrior, just let me know. I'd love to add you to the list. And if not that, if you need some prayers, we're here for you as well. You can actually find it on my website, charlottemcginnis.com, and scroll down and you'll see the prayer ministry link. Or you can just send me a note and I'll be happy to put it out there for you. Well, totally on the side, Ellen and I went to see the movie Downton Abbey yesterday, the final one. I forget what it's called, but it was really, really, really good. We were Downton Abbey fans, hadn't really tuned into it in a while, but all of it came rushing back, and it was excellent, well done, beautiful ending. And if you just want to go get away from it all in the movie theater, I recommend it, and I think you'd like it if you like that sort of thing. Well, today's topic, light always wins. That was inspired, you'll hear later, by a Billy Graham quote. And we, as spiritual seekers and those who are seeking a better way to be in the world and to navigate more peacefully, we all know that the light of God is our compass, and it is here for the asking. And no matter how dark things may seem at times, light always wins. And we're going to get into this pretty deep, offer a few different thoughts about it. Welcome questions, feedback, as I always, I'm a facilitator. I lead these services and book groups and everything, but I get so much from the engagement and opinions and thoughts of what's going on in your mind. So pipe in there. So, been a rough and tumble past couple of weeks, to say the least. It seems like nonstop. That ball just keeps rolling and getting bigger and bigger and very challenging. I think everybody on the planet is feeling the intensity of a lot of things happening in the world. And I think, as we all know from our spiritual knowing and practices, I don't know how I would get by in this world without my groups and this community here on Sunday and the prayer ministry, because it is about coming together to heal and to learn to find peace in the midst of the storm. So just in the past couple of weeks, school shootings, officers who were killed in a home domestic dispute, murders all over the country, all over the world, wars everywhere you turn, the economy, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the firing of Jimmy Kimmel, and there's just, and the list goes on and on and on, not to mention what is happening just in our own individual lives. You know, it's we've got what's going on in our little cocoons, right? But there's also a lot going on in the big picture. And good morning, Carol. It's nice to see you. So needless to say, the escalation of fear is huge all around the world. And we're going to talk about how we can maybe find another way to be in the world, but not of the world. So pipe in, give your feedback, always welcome. Well, first of all, you know, probably one of the most difficult things for us as ego beings, as humans, to accept is that we've chosen everything that is happening to us. We want to think that we're a victim of this circumstance, this condition, this person's actions, what have you. But at some level, we've chosen it. I've mentioned this book over the years 500 times. Carolyn Mace's book, Sacred Contracts. And it is, I think we make a soul agreement before we come into this incarnation to learn big lessons. And I think that one of the most interesting thing is even as we evolve more spiritually and let our light shine more and more, that light is a threat to the dark. And often that light provokes attack from the dark, which I choose to call that fear. Because that's what darkness is. When we're in the dark, we're in fear, we're afraid, we're not knowing the truth of who we are as spiritual beings, having a human experience and not the other way around. And there's my buddy Laura, good morning. So there's a statement in the Course, no one is where he or she is by accident, and chance plays no part in God's plan. The probability of a certain set of circumstances coming together in a meaningful or tragic way is so low that it can't be considered a mere coincidence. And that, you know, everything is for our best interest. We're all here, the statement I say on and on and on, Ram Dass, we're here to walk each other home, and to understand that we really have chosen this all, even though sometimes we don't like to admit that. It's like, why the hell would I have chosen this, right? So I look at it another way. I struggle too with that often. I don't like to think I would choose certain things, but I do. I can't, I would be not truthful if I didn't tell you I'd struggle myself with all these things. But there is that knowing, that light, that spark within that knows that I've created it, and the good news is I can fix it. I like that a lot better than thinking anything can happen by chance and that I'm a victim of the world and this and that. So the good news is if we chose it, we too can turn it around. And that's, I think, where more of the evolved spiritual teachers are coming from now, the big three, Lipton, Braden, and Dispenza, is that we definitely, we have, you know, we've gotten so distracted by the external noise and the trauma of life and everything that's happened, and we get sucked into that illusion of fear, and yet there is a spark within us that can totally diminish that. We just have to tune into that voice more than we tune into the fear of the world. And I notice, you know, and I include myself in this. I don't come here as a master. I'm a teacher. I'm on this journey. I get my lessons too. And the good news is, I think we can all say we have a little more wisdom, a little more faith and trust than we used to, and we're doing better and better every day. not. It's a choice. But I have been interested in observing the reactions of so many people with what's happening in the world. And be it, like I said, the economy, politics, murders, firings, whatever it is. And the reactions are typical human reactions: anger, chronic social media postings. I really chuckle at that. I love social media because I get a lot of, I use it for a means of sharing good news and sort of updating people and passing things along. And I love to see pictures of my friends and families and inspirational quotes. But I really don't have an interest in putting my views out there to for whatever's going on. So internet pause, Carol. I think I'm good and clear here. So that may be on your end. So anyway, yeah, the chronic social media postings and the anger, and it's, I look at that as a call for love, number one. It always is, right? When we're angry, when we're afraid, and fear is trusting in our own strength rather than, and thinking that we're a victim of this world, which is actually an illusion. It's a dream, and on and on and on. But the bottom line, it is all fear. And it's really sad, in some ways, in many ways, to see that friends and family, people who are unified and supportive and loving of each other, will literally part, and good morning, Sharon, will part because of differences in opinion. And I think that, the quotes, live and let live, it's none of my business really what other people think. We're free to choose what we want to choose. And, I have my own issues, and I take the bait sometimes, and then I chew on it until it doesn't taste good. And then I finally say, okay, Holy Spirit, help me find my way back to love. Because anytime I'm charged or provoked, I think it's about someone else, but it's never about anyone else. And that's a tough worm to swallow, but it's the truth. And we talk about that all the time. And so, I've said this, and you all, I've been doing this for 30 years now, the Sunday talks and teaching classes and so on and so forth. And so I go down a lot of rabbit holes. And what I've gathered from that, I'm very interested. I'm very curious. I'm not going to just focus on, one agenda. I'm a seeker. I'm curious. And so what I've gathered is we think that our anger and our upset and our fear is about the parties, okay, Democrat, Republican, or a person or a situation. But really, what all these things happening are, we think it's about the person or the situation, but it's never about that. It's always about choosing to divide us and keep us separate. And anytime, I think that is the devil, the ego, Satan, whatever you want to call it, the dark's agenda is to sit here and get us all worked up and get us all in our head and try to justify and make someone else see our point of view. And if you don't think like me, then you're wrong. And I see that there's, it's kind of like there's a puppeteer above the parties that we're pissed off at. And the puppeteer is like pulling the strings, and we're thinking it's that situation, but it's not. And ultimately, even that puppeteer is an illusion. It's 100%, and we're going to get this in a minute more, projection of we don't see the world as it is, we see it as we are. And interestingly enough, I had spoken to a friend of mine who had reached out a couple of weeks ago, and she had said something to the effect of, well, what do you think about everything that's going on? I said, I'm not engaged in it. I'm blessing it. I'm sending love. I'm hoping, for the greatest degree of love. I'm rooting for everybody. I see that everybody's playing their role, and those roles, hey, Janie, happy Sunday to you. Everyone's playing their roles, and understand that, if I get triggered, it's not about them, it's about me. We can have preferences. We can have aligned with certain ideas and ideals and thought systems. But at the end of the day, if I have to make something or someone wrong to justify how I feel about something, then I'm putting more energy into that which I don't want. And I think, I've read this over and over. One of the first books I read when I was really delving into spiritual, depth and understanding it was a book, and if you can find it, it was at least 30 some years ago. It was called You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought. And that is so true. It was actually written to support people who were dealing with terminal illnesses and situations, and the power of our thoughts, and our thoughts carry with them vibrations. And when we're in that negative thought system, then what happens is I'm feeding the dark, okay? So if you really knew the power of your thoughts, you would never think a negative thought again. You would never choose that, because they're so powerful. And yet we are always trying to justify and place blame, point the finger, and we think it's about the other person. It's never about the other person. There's only one of us here, and everyone else is just mirroring back to me where I am in my own beliefs. And until I see the world as an illusion, which it is, and just bless it, and that leads me to, I mentioned earlier about Mary Fakay's memorial next Saturday. I hope you all can join us on Zoom. She had a bumper sticker on her little Subaru, and it said, and she had it for years. Every time she'd get a new car, she changed it. And it was, God bless the entire world, no exceptions. And that is the truth. I'd sit with Mary, and we'd have conversations about this and that. And, I know she had her thoughts and ideas and ideals leaned one way. But it was always interesting and thought-provoking, and exchange of ideas. But she was never tempted to, in her exchange, to feel she had to make anyone wrong because she thought this way. And I think that, if it was a big lesson. And, the bumper sticker, of course, God bless the entire world, no exceptions. And I found this statement, which I think is also equally powerful to support what I'm choosing to share today. And it's, the conscious person uses the world as a mirror to better understand and master themselves. The unconscious person attacks the mirror because they don't realize it's a mirror. And how true is that? If we're, conscious beings, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, we recognize more and more, not always, but maybe more than we used to, that yes, this world is a reflection of my projection and my thoughts about it. And we can use that as a means to master and understand ourselves. But if we're unconscious, if we're in the ego, then we're going to attack, and we're going to defend, and we're going to be angry and upset and not take responsibility. And then I don't think we can awaken till we do accept that responsibility. Well, as I said, for 40 years now, I've been a student and teacher of A Course in Miracles and other spiritual and philosophical, scientific teachings, and taught many groups over the years, and thousands of groups actually over 40 years. I still do 2 groups every week, and this Sunday talk every week. And I will say that I have a Wednesday book study that's been going on for 4 years or so, and then my Course in Miracles Zoom's been going on since 2018. And this particular one, prior to that, I did it live. But I will say, anybody who doesn't believe that, a lot of people, I talked to a friend the other night and I said, oh, you should join our Course of Miracles group on Zoom. She says, oh, I don't like groups on Zoom. And that's the first response of a lot of people. And then later in the conversation, well, I've never really tried that much with Zoom. But I'm a huge fan of it because in our groups, both groups, we have people from all over literally the world who participate and join in, and we're very connected and very supportive. And it's both groups are, I feel, souls who are willing to take responsibility for their thoughts and their life and how they are in the world and how they, spiritual maturity. And so we move through, I will say, and those in the group know this to be a fact, we move very slowly. As a matter of fact, just this past week, in our Way of Mastery group, we got through 2 paragraphs, and yet we discussed it for the rest of the hour and had a rich, deep conversation, and the maturity and the commitment to walking in the greatest degree of love of this group and taking responsibility is huge. And, I remember, for an example, obviously there were many different thoughts and reactions to, let's say, the last election. And there was, people on both sides, and there were some that were angry, afraid, et cetera, et cetera. And, justifying why we need to be afraid. And then there were others, and, but it wasn't coming from a place of making wrong necessarily. It was a sincere fear, really. And now I've noticed the evolution of the group. It's all of a sudden the group is like, yeah, I need to look at that. That is my projection. And the healing that takes place, and to witness that is why I continue to do it, because I'm like, wow, I am in awe that people are actually getting it and seeing, how powerful our thoughts are. And when we're sitting here and throwing out all this whatever rhetoric, we're feeding the frenzy of fear. And guess what? The ego wins. Darkness wins when we do that. So in the Course, I talk often about the section above the battleground, and it emphasizes the importance of recognizing different forms of attack and murder in our lives. It teaches that each form of attack, whether we recognize it or not, limits our healing and miracles we can extend to others. The Holy Spirit understands how to increase our gifts and make them mighty. And it is our part to realize that murder in any form is not our will. The chapter encourages us to overlook the battleground and choose miracles instead of murder, light over dark, allowing us to see the battle as nothingness and easily escape it. It is also highlighting the importance of seeing the battle from a higher perspective, where only the truth of miracles can be experienced and recognized. So we're here to rise above that battleground, and you just see that from a distance it is all light. But in the fray, we're just, caught all up. Well, I want to share, this is the Way of Mastery. This is a course. It is a Course-related book. It's actually inspired by Jesus, and it's the difference between this and the Course of Miracles is this is very user-friendly, and you can, I think, easier to understand, and it's like gives you really lessons to live by, as does the Course, but it's pretty potent and powerful, and this is why we only got past 2 paragraphs. But I'm going to share it a little bit here because the section we were in on Friday is called the primary characteristic of mastery. Fearlessness is the primary characteristic of mastery. Mastery is not having great power to make things happen. It is only the recognition that what is true is always true, and there is no other choice. Free will does not mean that you have the right to believe that you can succeed at being anything other than what God created you to be. Having free will does not mean that you can elect to take the only curriculum that life is offering to you in every moment. It means only that you do have the right to put off another day. And each time you put it off, you slumber in your suffering. So free will does, in the Course, the way it's framed in the Course, it says free will does not mean we can establish the curriculum, the choice, okay? But rather when we choose to take it. So in other words, you can drag it out, or you can say, okay, I had enough of this, I get it. So the statement that we really got into, and you know, I read ahead and I'm like, oh man, I'd love to share all this, but this would take us weeks. But everyone's invited Fridays at 11 if you want to join us. But this is the statement that got us between the eyes. For now, and this is something we may all want to consider, now from this moment on, I will no longer tolerate error in myself. No more games, no more drama, no more dreams. I am committed to being in the presence of love, for that is the truth of who I am. So, you know, the primary characteristic of mastery is knowing that we're willing to let go of the story, the drama, all this stuff we make up. And, you know, as long as we're feeding it, we're making it real. As long as we're angry, we're making it bigger. And I think that, you know, it's a great commitment to ourselves and to everybody, that from this moment on, I won't tolerate anything but the light. Billy Graham, what inspired this talk was a post by a Facebook friend from West Virginia. Thank you, Don. And it said, Billy Graham once said, light does not argue with darkness, it simply takes over. Wow. You know, light does not argue with darkness, it just takes over. So are we going to commit to staying in the light, let it take over, let that be what we spread, or are we going to argue with the darkness? It's a futile effort, it's a waste of time. But, you know, we still think that so, and I think also that when we do that, we're thinking that maybe God doesn't really, I don't think we're putting our faith and trust in God. I know that God's will and God's plan is way more sophisticated and wonderful than anything I could ever imagine, yet I throw it away because I want to be right or whatever. And maybe you all can relate, maybe not. Well, we were having a conversation with a friend the other night, and she's actually, Claudia, recommended the Downton Abbey movie, and we were talking about a mutual situation that we're aware of, and it's been a challenge, and as a result, I loved her response. And you know, that's why it's great to exchange with people, because her statement was, you know what, even though this insanity is going on, I'm choosing to see the good. I'm choosing to put all your past, except its beauty, is gone, and all that remains is a blessing. So if we can just find something good, we can find something good in everybody, and build on that instead of building on the story that we're making up. And it doesn't mean that we don't have to sort of navigate through things, but we do it with a different intention and desire. I'm intending and desiring to heal. Holy Spirit, show me how, because I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm afraid, and so on. So that was, you know, a beautiful lesson in passing that she said in our conversation. So thoughts are things, you know, we're vibrational beings. You know, we're here to recognize the power of our thoughts. And you know, as it said, if the most enlightened thing, if you want to be a master, you know, choose to let go of the story and the drama. Bring it to the light. Say, okay, Holy Spirit, you know, light does not argue with darkness. This social media is a blessing and a curse at the same time. I think everything can be used for ego or holy purposes. But when I see the outrage and the anger and the fear, I just bless it. I send love. I know that that person is hurting. And I don't want to join, and I don't want to give my opinion, and because that's just going to fuel it anyway. Bless it. Just that's all we're here to do. Holy Spirit, show me how to bring light into this. Give it to the Spirit. We don't have to get caught up in the dramas anymore. So thoughts are things, they're very powerful. And one thing that the Course in Miracles talks about, and I think this is real important because it's a powerful section, and it's called the Unhealed Healer. And, we all, basically, we can only, I think you feel and know when a person is genuine and peaceful, and when they're not. It's not a judgment. It's just, if they're coming from fear, well, you feel it. And if they're coming from love, you feel that too. And so the section in the Course, the Unhealed Healer, says there is an advantage to bringing nightmares into awareness, but only to teach that they're not real and that anything they contain is meaningless. So yeah, you can be aware, but say, oh, that's meaningless. I'm not going to give it any thought. The unhealed healer cannot do this because they don't believe it. And I think that's so true when we're, it's kind of like, well, you know what, this is real. And I'm given this situation more power than I'm given to the power of love or light to transform it. And so the unhealed healer cannot do this because he doesn't believe it. All unhealed healers are following the ego's plan in one form or another. So that's so true is that we're, if we're following love, if we're following light, if we have a sincerity of heart in what we do, and we bless those in fear rather than condemning or blaming, understanding that we're all playing our roles, that our salvation, our ultimate awakening means that we've purified our heart of all anger, rage, division, need to be right, judgment, etc., because in eternity, this all disappears. And our soul is not affected by this. It's our ego, our identities that are getting all caught up in this. So in the realm of eternity, this is all meaningless. But man, we let it trigger us and distract us. And that is the battle of what some people would say, light and dark, good and evil. And the good news is that the light is there for the asking always. And that, don't argue with the dark. Bring it to the light. And the light, when we turn the light on, the darkness disappears. It's that easy, but we're just, as we talk about in the Course, and there was a gal in the group that said, I kind of like a lot of this drama, though. I said, thanks for your honesty. I think we all do, right? If we didn't get some pleasure, we think it's pleasure out of it, we wouldn't play in it. But I do believe that the kingdom of heaven, which is really the healed mind, the forgiven mind, the identity with our true nature, which is only love, when we come from that perspective, it's far greater than anything in this world. And the light, if we're willing to bring our darkness to the light, will erase it, literally. True forgiveness is to erase it completely. And I believe that I envision heaven being just where we're all in total appreciation and joy, and there's no stories, and we're just coming from the totality of love. But I do believe we can't attain heaven, which is a state of awareness, really. I think right here, right now, we can be in heaven if how we choose to see the world. Do I choose to, as Einstein said, the most important question we can ever ask ourselves is, do I choose to see this as a friendly or hostile universe? And if you say friendly, I see this as a friendly universe. It responds in kind. If I'm in drama about into my story, that and the hostile universe, well, guess what? It's going to reflect that back to me. The mirror, right? Look at the mirror. So I know this is, you all know this, I know it. Maybe we could all just commit to letting go a little more every moment and recognizing when we're going down that path of fear and judgment and condemnation, and realize that it's not getting us very, very far when we're there, and it doesn't feel very good. I'll speak for myself. Maybe y'all like pain, I don't know. But I'm going to close with this statement, and it is, so enlightenment isn't about deciding who deserves love. It is remembering that Source loves all, the saint and sinner alike. Judgment separates us. Love remembers that we are one. I think that's so powerful and surmises everything that I was sharing with you all today, where it's not about deciding who gets our love. It's just love and accept everybody and relinquish our judgment. That's true forgiveness. True forgiveness is when it's completely erased and all I see is the light. So give you a little homework, who is or what situation is provoking a charge in you right now? Who are you really angry at? Who do you really dislike? And just go into your heart and just send that person, every time you see or that situation comes up, the ego, as the Course says, speaks first and loudest, because that's our subconscious program coming up. It reacts. But we take the pause and we say, okay, Holy Spirit, I want to bless this person. Right now, my story doesn't, but I know that this is good for me and for them, and that as a teacher of God, I want to be a healed healer, and that I don't need to make anyone wrong anymore. I want to offer full blessing and forgiveness. And I don't know how, because I'm pretty stuck in my story, but I'm willing. And if we just start there, I think that we can not only transform ourselves, but since there's only one of us here, we're all connected. That's the greatest gift we can bring to the world right now. So thank you all for tuning in, and please pass along if you feel moved to do so. I'd appreciate it. And if you have any prayer requests or you want to join one of the groups, let me know. And in the meantime, see you next Sunday, and namaste.